channel. Welcome to Friday. I hope you've had a good week. As you can see today, I'm joined by my dogs. So if you hear any noise throughout the video, that will be them and not me. So apologies if they make any flapping of ear noises, any bottom noises, any sort of noises, it's probably be them. So apologies for that. Anyway, so today I'm found out about a place in Scotland. It's a bar and a restaurant and a hotel, and it's not just any old bar, restaurant or hotel. It's over 300 years old, so it has history, of course. If I go to Scotland at any point, I really would like to visit this place and go and stay in one of their haunted hotel rooms. So anyway, yeah, so that's what today's video is about. Hope you enjoy, and I'll shush and shut up and all of that stuff, and I'll let you get on the video, and yeah, see you on the other side. Enjoy. The Drovers Inn is a hotel situated in Loch Lomond. Its setting is beautiful in rural Scotland. Established in 1705, the Drovers Inn is said to be one of Scotland's oldest and most haunted hotels. There's been countless visitors over the years, including some famous people like Rob Roy and Gerard Butler. With its architecture and vintage style, you'll feel like you've stepped back in time to an era where people sang songs and drank their neat whiskey by the fire in a candlelight. According to stories though, not everybody is living. There have been numerous spooky sightings over the years at the inn. Now, in the late 18th century, in the winter of 1792, the year which later became known as the Year of the Sheep, a young crofting family were forcibly removed from where they lived, their landlords having decided that the land would turn more of a profit if it was used for sheep farming. With nowhere to live and little money or means to support their young child, the family had no other option than to head south in the hope of creating a new life for themselves in the Scottish lowlands, or maybe even emigrate to one of the new worlds. On their long journey south in the winter months, one night they got caught in a heavy snowstorm. They'd been trying to reach shelter and the safety of the Drovers Inn. However, with the visibility very poor and the family being exhausted from their journey, they took the wrong path somewhere on their way. Their journey ends in tragedy, with the family freezing to death while wandering the land, desperately trying to get back on the track that leads to the Drovers Inn. Over the years, there's been many accounts of people witnessing the young family wandering the land in the winter months, trying to find shelter. On more than one occasion, they've even appeared to have arrived at their destination on that fateful night. One account goes that a couple who were staying recently at the Drovers Inn in room 2 woke during the night with a cold shiver, only to find that a young family was standing shivering at the foot of their bed, their breath visible in now freezing air. The young boy waving up to the couple as if he was happy to have finally found what they were searching for. Now, if that doesn't give you the shivers, we'll move on. In the early century, there was a young girl that stayed nearby. She'd been playing with her beloved doll, Annabelle, in the normally shallow and placid waters of the River Falloch, which runs just behind Drovers Inn. On this fateful day, earlier there had been a lot of rainfall, so the river had swelled and there had stronger undercurrents. Annabelle fell into the river, and tragically the young girl got swept away, and by the time that anyone noticed that she was gone, she had perished in the icy waters. A search party was made up of her family, local farmers and cattle drovers. Eventually all found her just downstream, but it was too late to save her. They carried her lifeless body to the Drovers Inn and laid her on the bed of the room 6. There she stayed for a while her family grieved and prepared the burial ground in a nearby graveyard. It's said that in the years that have passed since the tragic occurrence, many guests that have slept in room 6 have woken through the night, having felt a small icy cold and wet body laid next to them in bed. There's also been sightings of Annabelle, who has been searching for her owner, who she was sadly never reunited with. The room is said to be icy cold even when the radiators are on full blast. It's very hard to heat it up. Now, one couple who stayed in the room claimed that the main door to the room would open and close by itself in the night, even though it was locked. The man decided to get up and find out who was playing games and give him a piece of his mind. So he wandered the corridor and he knocked on all of the doors, but he was shocked to find that all the other rooms were unoccupied that night. Another common ghost sighting is Angus the cattle drover, one of many who stopped here with their livestock on a long journey to lowland markets. As people often do here, Angus drank far too much on his arrival and woke up late the next morning with a sore head and no cattle to be seen. His enterprising rivals had piled him with alcohol and so they could disappear and with his animals, and then while he was sleeping it off they could just do a runner. Sheepishly returning to his chief without the expected bag of coins or any of the cattle that he had left, Angus was in big trouble. He was banished from his home and his clan, losing his family in the process. Forced to wander the highlands in search of a new life, and Angus had trouble moving on. In desperation, he travelled back to the Drovers Inn where he plotted his revenge. He waited for weeks until the same group that had robbed him appeared once again. Rage consumed Angus and he could barely contain himself, and he waited for the perfect opportunity to strike. The opportunity never came. One of his rivals had spotted him and knew exactly what the young man was planning. They came in the dead of the night, surprised Angus and hanged him from the tree beside the building. The murdered drover has been seen at night, dressed in his tartan plaid and wandering the Drovers Inn, searching for his revenge. If that isn't enough to put a shiver down your spine, then listen to these stories written by guests that have stayed at the hotel. These were taken from the inn website. On the night of Friday the 21st of October, my girlfriend and I made a stop off at the Drovers on our way up to the Isle of Mull. We stayed at the Drovers many times, but it was a first for my girlfriend. She loved the place, by the way. We stayed in room 6. After having a bite to eat in the bar, we retired to our room for the night. At some stage in the middle of the night, my girlfriend woke me up and asked if I could see the flickering lights moving around the room. Still half asleep, I told her that she must be looking at the flashing light on the smoke detector. She asked me to look again, which I did. To my surprise, there were numerous tiny little white points of light dancing around in the mid-air. At any one time, I would estimate that we could see between 10 and 20 of the lights. Although very small, the lights were white and they were very intense. They seemed to move randomly, appearing and then disappearing. The room was pitch black with no other light source which could have been reflecting to cause what we saw. We both watched the lights and for a really long time, unable to explain what was causing them. The best I could come up with was that they were some type of tiny firefly. This was discounted later when I asked the hotel staff if such creatures inhabited the area. The answer to the question was no. A week and a half went on and we still couldn't give up the rational explanation for what we'd witnessed. Currently the only explanation we have is that we witnessed a number of orbs, often seen in photographs, and believed to be some kind of spiritual manifestation. I can't wait to return to number 6. I'll bring a decent video camera next time. Okay, so that's a bit spooky. Next story. A lady recently stayed at the Drovers one Thursday night of her daughter and friends for a birthday treat. A few days later, she emailed wondering if she could tell them who the little girl in the pink dress was in the photograph they'd taken on the stairs. She said that she was not with their party and that they didn't recall seeing any children at the hotel that night. Her daughter, who took the photograph, swears the little girl was not there when she took the photo of the staircase with her mobile phone. They were totally spooked out by the photograph, but felt sure that we'd be able to give them an explanation. Unfortunately not, though. There were no children staying at the hotel that evening, nor any children visiting. Spooky. Yeah, that's just giving me goosey gander on my arms. That could be the little girl that drowned, could it? Maybe she was wearing a pink dress, who knows? But that I like that sort of thing, where you swear there was nothing, they weren't there when you took the photo, and then all of a sudden you've got a photograph with somebody in it. And the thing is, in these days, it's with the mobile phone, you don't get double exposure like you used to do with the camera years ago. So whatever, make that what you will. On the night of Friday the 21st of October, my girlfriend and I made to stop off at Drovers on our way out to Isle of Mull. I've read this one. I don't know why that was. I've read that one already. Okay. Yeah, the following morning, whilst packing up to get on their way, they noticed their digital camera had been moved slightly from where it was sitting next to the bed. Okay, I don't know which part of the story this is. Okay. While inspecting the camera, they found that there had been a number of photographs taken throughout the night. On looking through the photographs, they all appeared to be of the couple sound asleep, with what looked like an eerie light emanating from above the four-post to bed they lay on. Confused by the discovery, they at first thought it could be a work of one of the travelling companions, trying to play a prank on the couple for retiring early the night before. However, this explanation was soon discarded when they realised that their room door was still locked from the inside, as they had left it on the previous night. On checking out of the inn later on, the staff at the reception also confirmed that there hadn't been any staff that could have had access to the room either. With the couple's friends also denying any knowledge of the incident, it remains a mystery to this day who or what took the photographs. Well, no, I mean, wow. That is spooky as spooky can be, isn't it? Imagine that, looking at your camera and seeing photographs taken throughout the night of you and your partner fast asleep in your bed, and there's nobody else in the room, and whoa, that is something, isn't it? That is something else, that. Okay, well, wow, I'm like quite genuinely taken aback by that. That's quite fascinating, isn't it? I don't know about you, but I mean, what do you think? I think it's quite fascinating, and even the orb story with the little orbs that they see floating about. Now, the thing is with orbs is that you don't always see them with your naked eye. I suppose it's usually through a camera of some kind, like a night vision camera or whatever of some sort. So actually to see them with the naked eye is something else, I think. And obviously the little girl in the pink dress in the photograph that wasn't there when they took the picture, was that the little girl who died in the river? Who knows? And if you're ever at Loch Lomond and you go by the Drovers Inn, or you want to go for a drink, or you go for a meal, or even if you're staying over, maybe you might see Angus wandering around outside waiting for his revenge. Who knows? But hopefully you won't have an icy cold little girl laying in bed with you when you go to sleep at night. So, but whatever you make of it, I hope you enjoyed it. And it's a spooky wooky one, this one. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below. Thanks for listening. So then, what did you make of that? I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope, you know, like the stories and stuff of the place and everything. I found it fascinating. Like, you know, I love things like that though. I love where it's such a really old building, and it's got all the architecture, and it's got all the, you know, all of the grand sort of like feel of back in the day, I suppose. I love stuff like that. So if I ever go to Scotland, I will be visiting that Drovers Inn. If you live in Scotland, please go and visit Drovers Inn and let me know what you think. Or if you haven't visited, let me know what you think, because, you know, it's always nice to find out other people's thoughts on, you know, whatever's I've been doing a video on. So yeah, anyway, I think as far as spooky places go, this one probably is quite high, because it's apparently it's one of Scotland's most famous haunted places. So, and I think, you know, it's, I don't know, it's just, it seems good and fun, doesn't it? I'd really be interested to hear from like staff and that of the hotel, because, you know, people like, I suppose, housekeepers and, you know, just general people who work around the place, they must have seen things or heard things, or, you know, mustn't they? Got to have. So yeah, anyway, I think today, our video today was a good one. I enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it. And it's Friday, so what's not to love? Everything to love about Friday, isn't there? Because Fridays are so brilliant. They're the best day of the week. Hands down, I think, personally. I think only because, like, I don't know, Friday to me is like, Friday's the beginning of the weekend, because once you get to Friday night, you know you've not got to get up early the next day and the next day, unless of course you work on weekend, which sucks. But yeah, so yeah, I hope my dogs were quiet when the girls gone out there, but I hope if they made any noises, I hope you didn't hear it. And if you did, trust me, it wasn't me. I know people say that, but it wasn't me. So yeah. Anyway, I think it's time I buggered off and left you to whatever you're doing. Go and get on with your day, and go and get on with the rest of your weekend. Have a nice weekend. Yeah, don't do anything I wouldn't do. Yeah, you. And I'll see you again next time. In the meantime, you take care of yourselves, you keep smiling, and I'll see you on the other side. See you later. Bye.